But there's now people being caught starting fires.
There was one guy.
Buddy, I've seen 3 at this point.
Right? You talk about sports betting, all this stuff. You think insurance companies have their own betting odds, bro, right?
A lot of people's fire insurances were canceled months before.
No, they were.
Months before this.
You have Trump on Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan, he called
episode?
it out. He called out exactly what was going to happen like a year ago.
The only reason this stat is public is because the Firefighter Association actually went to the government with a full proposal and said, hey guys, we are underfunded.
Like I was saying with the smart meter thing, there's no so it's just also tinfoil on situation.
Wait, what's tinfoil? What are you talking about?
Conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat.
Did you know that LA used to be a lake?
Oh, that's why LA Lakers maybe, right?
That's terrible.
I don't think so.
That's terrible.
No, is that what it is?
I don't think this is being reported enough, but did you know that everyone keeps saying this is California's largest wildfire. This is California's largest wildfire. This is the biggest wildfire in United States history because apparently the biggest one before this that everyone talked about was the Chicago fires. Did you know about this?
100 years ago, probably?
Yeah, like a long time ago.
But they're like, let me just show you guys a map. And they show, this is 3 days ago. It's bigger now in California, the fire. They show, they're like, this is a little square of Chicago. And then they're like, okay, let me like zoom out now. And they're like, if we were to show you the same size in Chicago, it was like 10x the size. So it's the biggest wildfire the United States have ever seen. And first of all,
what's 10x? The LA fire?
The LA fire is 10x bigger than like what they used to always be like, oh, in history, can you remember this fire that, you know, the damages have hit 30 billion, is it?
It's just going to keep going up.
Is that fire still going on?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
So there's new fires starting in different areas. And it's weird.
From what? Lightning strikes? Or is it
No,
arson?
wind.
Well,
wind is blowing.
Wind is
little
one
things.
thing.
It's dry.
But there's now people being caught starting fires. Yes.
No, like today,
Yeah,
there was one guy.
Buddy, I've seen 3 at this point. Starting random fires.
So there's a lot of debate about, okay, is this terrorism? Is it this? Realistically, LA
It is the climate. It is the climate. In reality.
Extremely dry.
Yeah. Never gets water.
Did you know that LA used to be a lake?
No.
They used to have a leak and they had to put balls in it to fucking not have it evaporate.
And then they got rid of all that water. And now look at the irony in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like nature kind of had a plan.
Well, that's why LA Lakers maybe, right?
That's terrible.
I don't think so.
That's terrible.
No, is that what name?
No, NDP Pond.
Oh my god.
NDP Ponders. No, so anyways, that's still the funniest shit, man. I'm still imagining like NDP Pond, bro. The day they ever elect a prime minister, they're going to have a pond, bro.
Yeah.
They're not getting a
do
lake.
that a pond.
They're not getting a statue. They're not getting a building. They're getting a fucking pond.
I was gonna say Punjabi. I was gonna say coup, but I don't a well, right?
Yo, that's why you said pond.
Yeah, it's like fuck it, just like, you know.
But anyways, there's fires raging on. Those fires are the biggest that probably in North America then, because I don't know if Canada has had. We've had some bad ones in BC.
I've even seen reporters. I think I've seen just a clip of Neetu Garcha was out there as well too.
What's ironic about this a little bit is we just had the incident of the billionaire healthcare CEO being,
unalived.
Yeah. And then that's a big public company. That's a big, big rich guy thing. Hollywood, a lot of other rich people. Does not mean it's okay. And there are a lot of other regular people that lived in those areas that have lost their livelihoods. I can only imagine, bro. Can you imagine the pain that you would feel in your heart losing everything you own? Now, especially for the people that have, there's 10 people that have passed away as of when we last checked.
Oh, wow. I didn't know people passed away. That's crazy.
Dude,
I mean, about the animals too that might have just been
people weren't able to move, right?
Yeah.
People were just like stuck and or by themselves and just scared and just panic, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it happens.
Yeah. There was actually individuals that did not. They said they I quote could not or did not. So we don't know if they just chose not to leave. Mm-hmm. But some individuals, was like a family of like 4 that like.
Oh God.
There was like
some of the crazy part about this is there was this one lady that was on the news, and there's a lot of cases about this. A lot of people's fire insurances were canceled months before.
No, they were
months before this. And it's very odd. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these houses are obviously worth millions, right? Because they're all in like pretty high-end neighborhoods for the most part. And it's just strange because LA's going to be completely different now. I mean...
Well,
like how many houses are we talking here?
Oh, thousands.
No,
thousands,
so this is what also kind of bothers me about the chit chat around this, okay? when there's hurricanes happening, there's no politicizing it usually, right? Hurricanes coming, prepare, do it, right? Take care of it. Why is it not politicized? It's not because of any other reason other than what he just mentioned. Insurance companies, where they are financially motivated to make sure they assess risk to the maximum ability, right? You talk about sports betting, all this stuff. You think insurance companies have their own betting odds, bro, right? And they're watching those odds like 24/7, right? And as soon as they realize they're not going to cover it, insurance companies also have, I don't know about the states, but there's obviously some due diligence where they need to formally state why, right? They can't just be like, never mind, right? Without, there would be outrage for that. So they stated, based on all these circumstances, unless something changes, whether they said that or not, unless something changes, we are not covering this. I have a condo. In the condo, we have a freaking levy now. There's like $1 million project happening to repair parts of the building. I'm not going to get into the details of it now. The reason it became imminent was because the insurance company would eventually say, hey, you guys didn't deal with this. Now somebody's balcony fell off, or whole unit got affected. This is on you guys. We know that this is going to happen, right? It was balcony related. Balconies, if they start rotting, people are going to die. And it's not just mold; it's livelihoods, and it could take many years for this to get there. But insurance companies are watching, and they're saying, "Hey, we did the inspection. There's some rotting happening in one balcony. You need to get them all checked, and then when you're getting them checked, you need to be prepared to spend all this money." Insurance companies are watching. Do you think that the local governments and the California government had no idea about this? It must have hit their table. It must have hit their email inbox. Yeah. They should have known that there's some huge risks going on.
So I don't think they canceled insurance. They probably just never renewed their insurance.
They canceled
No. They said that we will no longer cover fire.
They still have home insurance. They still have all the insurances. Just fire is not covered.
No, they just said fire due to the risk in your area. Your area is too high risk to cover in our policies. We are not touching this with a 10-foot pole. Here's an immediate change. They changed it last August.
Oh, wow.
You have Trump on Joe
Rogan. He called it out. He called out exactly what was going to happen.
I don't know
like a year ago.
Was it? Was it a year ago?
I believe
it was in the last few years.
It was within a year, but he called out exactly what's going to happen.
They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why don't you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north. Water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water gets poured. I could have water for all of that land. Water for your forests. You know, your forests are dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dangerous.
That water could be routed. You know, you could have everything. Oh, not only dangerous, billions of dollars a year they spend on forest fires. And, you know, there's a case with the environment. They're not allowed to rake their forests because you're not allowed to touch it. And all they have to do is clean their forest, meaning rake it up, get rid of the leaves, get rid of, leaves that are sitting there for 5 years. And
we'll certainly get rid of the dead fall.
And get rid of the trees that are fallen that are like.
He literally said, I'm worried about LA. I'm really worried about LA. I know many great people in LA, blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about how they don't have water. He's like, they don't have water. I'm trying to get them water. They don't listen to me. He's like, it was after he was president, the first run, right? First term. He was like, when I was president of the United States, I told them, I said, guys, you need to make sure you have extra water.
Reservoir. You need reservoir. A reservoir. Yeah.
And
it'll be like 25 mil, not a lot. For the most part, for safety wise, compared to how much you spend on a bunch of other bullshit, 25 mil is not bad.
There's more that I'm going to say about that too, but California decides, and again, environmental. California is very, very, very environmental, right? And progressive, and but now it's not looking that way. They saved fish and salmon and everything else, or whatever it was, certain species, by not giving LA any water. If that's not enough, if you're still not convinced that the government failed, there's a chart of funding. The firefighters had a 17% decrease in funding last year. That is the second largest decrease in all departments of the government. You know what increased by 25%? Libraries were increased by 25% budgets for them. I'm not saying libraries are bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you know, they also had military. I think they had security up at the top with like a 25, 30, 40% increase. So the only reason this stat is public is because the Firefighter Association actually went to the government with a full proposal and said, hey guys, we are underfunded and we are drying up and we need funding. We need everything. And government just ignored it. That is public now.
Yeah. And even the crazy part, even with the whole firefighter thing is, there's fire hydrants in these neighborhoods.
They ran out of water.
No water. Like, what would you do if you're a firefighter? You pull up your neighborhood on fire.
Oxygen tanks at the fucking hospital that are
It's
empty.
ridiculous, dude.
No, but there's reasons why, because their water is being pulled and then it's up a hill and then the reservoir went empty.
It just
ran out of water.
bad mismanagement from the top down and just led to thousands of people losing either their loved ones or everything in their whole life. And they'll have no chance of getting it back down.
Especially if no insurance.
Hundreds of people will be homeless. LA in general is going to be done. I'm happy I went there like in the last month or so. In the area I went to, it's completely gone now.
Oh, wow.
All the houses on the way,
Yeah,
all
me
the
too.
trees, all the nice scenery, it's all gone. Imagine palm trees. Palm trees take like 20 years to like fully sprout up. LA is going to look completely different. By the time they have their Olympics in 2031, it's not going to be recognizable.
No, I don't know about the Olympics right now. I think they need to reconsider how bad. I mean, they're going to be fine by that point, but
But
it's
people
still,
are even bringing up, there's like a whole conspiracy theory out there, like smart green city, that this is actually planned to take place so they can like put through, like, it's tinfoil stuff, so they can put through like certain stuff. Like, who knows? I mean,
No, I'm saying
that's
I'm not saying you're coming up with that. I'm saying that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
But no, they're saying that it's going to become like a new like a utopian type of situation.
Dystopia, utopia, who knows? I didn't look too deep into it. I just see people constantly commenting under every like post of any kind of fire, that stuff.
Okay.
Tupac's gonna come back and be mayor of that town.
One last thing though that I want to say about the fire thing. People are politicizing it, right? That's what I was getting at earlier. It's being politicized because there has been government mismanagement.
Yeah.
The media, there's still mainstream media and news networks that are kind of saying, and people out there that are saying, why are you guys politicizing this, right? Well, it's not about Trump versus, Kamala or any of this stuff. It's actually just like there was mismanagement here in the government.
Hold people fucking accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Be like, listen, you fucking idiots don't know what's going on. You guys didn't know that the fucking reservoir is empty, and if there's a fire, like you guys are fucked.
Yeah, this is this is one of the richest places in their country, right? Definitely.
But it's just mismanagement. I guess they just rather allocate those funds in different places. And it's like, we'll deal with it when it comes, but we don't have to deal with it right now. I think that's what it came down to. And that's what it looks like. Because now they're panicking. Because when everyone's asking for answers, they have no answers.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're trying the best we can. And it's like, clearly you didn't plan this out.
Oh, the LA mayor was out on vacation in the Bahamas or something. I don't know, from her home country, wherever she's from, or her family's from. She was in not Bali. It was something like that. She was away while these fires are going on. She just landed back like yesterday. There's reporters. Hey, how do you feel about the fires? Walked out. Didn't say a word.
No way.
0 words. The video's out. Like, it's out there right now. I saw it today, this morning.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Dude, I think everyone...
She's zipped. She kept looking
everyone
straight.
in LA is letting the city down.
Like, how about just say, like, I'm fucking devastated? Like,
She didn't have her talking points. She didn't know what to say. So she's...
Yeah.
Dude, everyone in LA is letting them down. I just saw...
That's crazy,
dude,
bro!
How do you
not at least say, hey, my heart goes out to you? Like, what?
Well, what's worse, that?
Chat GPT it, bro.
Dude, what's worse, that or all 12 teams in LA? If you had to guess a number, they all got together.
Oh.
And how much money do you think they gave back to the city of LA?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
guess.
I know.
And in total, these teams are probably worth, I'm not even joking, at least 10 to 15 billion or at least 100 billion. All these 12 teams combined.
Yeah.
How much money do you think they put in? $8 million. And these teams are giving out contracts up to $1 billion. They could just shell out. 12 teams gave up $8 million. It's so embarrassing. It's top down. Everyone in LA is letting the city down. Nothing's going to get better until that whole city burns down, which sucks because good people are living there.
It's literally
and it sucks. And they're getting screwed.
It's literally burning down. There's a guy that does a BMX YouTube channel, and I just searched LA fire, YouTube filter, top viewed filter today. Because I was like, a couple of days ago, I was like, what? I don't want to see CBS News, CNN News talking about the fire. I want to see somebody like us talking about the fire. And YouTube search sucks, right? I find this video with like 10 million views, 5 million views at that point. And he's just riding a bicycle. He's like, hey guys, he just has a vlog where he just has like 360 crazy perfect camera. He lives near LA. He biked around when fires just started. And he's like, you could, it's the best video you can find probably of like, for an hour long, he's driving around. He's like, that's on fire. That's on fire. He's like, and then he looks and then there's like police trying to, direct traffic or whatever. And then you saw the cars that all just couldn't move. It's LA traffic jam.
Yeah.
So then they
good
just
luck
ran.
getting out.
They just ran out.
Oh wow.
Left their cars there. Then there's bulldozers just pushing the cars to make room for a fire truck to make it, which inevitably has no water. So
Bro, literally, it looks like a wasteland. If you look at these photos, like we'll put them up. Wasteland. It looks like as if someone dropped a bomb and nothing there.
It's almost like a
bad.
movie.
Yeah.
no, it's
Looks crazy.
it doesn't look real. Yeah.
It doesn't look
It
real.
looks
But the
r-
weird
yeah.
part is there's like occasionally there'll be one house unscathed.
No, there's one guy on the news that I watched.
Smart
again.
meter. It was a smart meter thing?
No. There's one guy that was there. He's like, yeah, there's one house that didn't get burned in this neighborhood or this block. And he's like, yeah, I stayed home. He's like, I stayed home. My whole family left, basically. I don't know if he lived alone. And he's like, I just turned on all the water. I did this. I sprayed my whole house. I got my whole house wet. He's like, and it didn't make it. Oh, and then he ran out of water. The water hose stopped working. He had a pool. So then he leveraged the water in the pool. I don't know what he did. MacGyvered. He saved his house, bro.
Oh wow.
But he risked his life. I don't know how this guy was. I mean, it makes sense why he's on the news. It's a newsworthy topic. But at the same time, they were like, he defied the orders of evacuation. So they're like, don't listen to this guy.
Yeah,
you know?
but like I was saying with the smart meter thing, there's no so it's also tinfoil on situation.
Wait, what's tinfoil? What are you talking about?
Conspiracy theory, tinfoil
Okay.
hat. So it's kind of like
Have you never heard that before?
so essentially the theory goes it's not a theory, it's like people have just been discussing it. Every house that has this new smart meter, smart meters outside houses telling all that stuff. Every house that has it, that's a house that was gone. There was this one house that had a property where essentially had like a laneway that had it, but the house itself didn't. That laneway's gone. So the only thing surviving is the houses theorized. Some people talk about it that are houses without a smart meter. If that's the case, I don't know how the fuck that's even possible, but that's insane.
That's like the nine. It's
Wait,
like,
no,
that's-
what,
yeah.
what about that one family that owns all the water, or something like that? What was
Oh
that?
yeah, there's a family that owns it. That billionaire family that owns water
What,
supply.
Rothschild?
So they what?
Rothschild, JP Morgan? Who?
No. It's some random billionaire couple from LA, and they basically just saw a business opportunity, and they already had money, so they figured out how to get extra water for like themselves, and then resold it to like rich people.
Okay.
I don't know if that water necessarily saved those houses. I don't know if there was enough, even what they had. I don't know. We cannot sit here with a straight face and believe that these billionaires had more water than the city had. So let's hope it was a supplemental amount.
Well, what the billionaires did do, you probably saw the tweet. It was like Keith Wasserman is the guy's name. He puts on Twitter, "Hi, I'm willing to pay top dollar to any private firefighter that's willing to help me out during this time." And that's a one time where everyone on Twitter was like, "This is what money gets you."
Yeah.
Like you get protection
No,
from
but
this kind of bullshit.
even then,
he
they
never
ran out of
got.
water.
I don't think.
No, but even then there was no water.
Yeah, what's gonna happen? Yeah.
Now, we talked about Canada earlier. Our current prime minister, even, having all the stuff that Trump's been saying and even other people have been saying about our prime minister, Canada's pulling through and working really hard to help.
Yeah.
That's
the
awesome.
state of
That-
doing
California.
great,
that's what
man.
Canadians, that's what Canada is.
And
Lots of bravery, man. These guys are taking a plane right to the water, scooping up the water, and doing it because they realize that that's the quickest way to do it now, and they can't go back to getting like whatever that like red powder they usually get.
are they doing salt water?
They're doing straight salt water. Yeah.
Oh, salt water actually really screws up nature life. It screws up like all
Well,
the
dude, at this
plants
point, they
and stuff
don't
won't be able
care.
to grow because it won't be. It'll be too salty. They don't care anymore. But
At
that's
this
how
point,
bad
they
it
got to
is.
protect.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's why they couldn't do it at first. I watched this whole video about
Yeah.
salt water, And if you just take salt water and dump it to take out a fire, it will work, but nothing will grow there like for a long time. Like I'm sure there's technology there.
So
you
LA
can
is
excavate it.
really going to be a way
See,
different landscape in 10 years. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's going to look completely different.
One more point about this, not just being politicized, it's also there's another debate being put into it. And I do want to just say it. There are way more things that are causing problems than this. However, the firefighting team is being blamed because it was run by, I believe she's a lesbian woman, and there's too much like diversity and DEI. Without going too in deep about this topic, what I will say is they did at least try to ring the alarm bells to the governor, to the mayor, to say we need more funding. It's dangerous. They still did whatever they could. When you get a 17% cut, I don't care what gender you are, whatever you are, when you have a 17% cut in, and that's one of the biggest cuts that you do last year.
Responders makes a big
difference.
difference.
It's the first responders. Yeah, the first responders. Firefighters are usually first. If they're doing that, I just want to say, people need to be, I do have my thoughts on DEI, but at the same time, in this instance, if that was the only problem, then maybe that's a topic. But right now, there are like 10 other things that went wrong before this.
Yeah.
First of all, why are billionaires having the ability to have their own water supply? And they're allowed to sell it? Why are there, all these different things that we just talked about? So, but I don't know. I don't know if we want to go into the whole DEI thing right now. It's a whole topic of its own to unpack there. But it's just another thing that people are talking about that I just wanted to address.
D stands for diversity, I'm guessing, right?
Diversity,
diversity,
equity,
inclusion.
inclusion. This is, do you want your daughter to be, fighting fires? I don't know. I don't know if I'm sexist for saying that. If she really wants to and is capable and is
If she's
super strong, if she's capable, do it.
But I wouldn't want my daughter getting a job in something where it's like, hey, just because you're a woman and that's
You're not good at it. You're not good at it.
But because you're a woman, you can get that job now. Whereas someone else who is twice as qualified and capable of doing the job, that person should get it. Because end of the day, if my house is burning down and I need to be saved,
You need the best people.
I need the best people.
Best people.
Right? I'm not gonna be like, oh, okay, well, they hired somebody because it's gender equity, whatever.
Yeah. The free market should take care of itself. At the same time, if there's discriminatory
I think
hiring,
this shit's gonna balance itself out. Just like everything now is changing like drastically, like back the other way now.
It is.
Like I think
crazy.
people are
It's
sick
the
of
beginning.
that.
100%.
yeah. So anyways, that's the situation with the LA fires. I really, really hope that I don't know. I hope it gets better, man. I don't know what else can you say. It's so crappy. It's so scary, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts and prayers go out to anyone affected, and hopefully LA can rebuild. And salute to all those fucking firefighters and anyone helping out. It's not easy dealing with all that, especially when you have no water, right? Like holy shit, you're literally fighting fire with nothing. It's scary.
Yeah, man. No, thanks to everyone that that does that kind of work.